I tested Codex to see just how easy it is to start a business in 2026. And honestly, the results were kind of scary. First, I needed a business idea. I went with something generic, Paul's Pressure Washing. Then I listed out what my business needs: a website, a sign-up form, a quote calculator, and finally, a way to organize everything. Now, let's see how much of that Codex can build before it breaks. The first thing Paul's Pressure Washing needs is a website. Nothing crazy. I just wanted a homepage that tells people what the business does, shows the services, and gives them a way to request a quote. So I gave Codex a pretty basic prompt. I set it to approve actions for me, turned the reasoning up to high, and let it build. And after only 11 minutes and 1,100 lines of code, it was ready. And honestly, it was better than I expected. The site was clean, organized, and easy to navigate, and it actually included almost everything I asked for. So overall, Codex got the first task done. But now I wanted to look at what it did well and what still needed work. Starting with what I liked, the website had 2 separate buttons that brought customers directly to the quote section. That matters because the quote form is the last thing you would normally scroll to. But for a startup service business, that is probably the main action you want people to take. So having that front page connection was actually a really smart feature. I also liked the navigation buttons at the top. When you hovered over them, they subtly turned green, and each one brought you directly to a different section of the website. That made the site feel way easier to use. Now here's what Codex messed up. Under the before and after section, Codex tried to make the examples interactive. Good idea, but there was one major problem. The before and after sides were flipped. So when you dragged the slider, the before side actually looked cleaner than the after side. And for a pressure washing business, that would definitely hurt our brand. So that needed fixing. Codex also included a request a quote toggle directly on the quote request form, which was a little confusing. Customers might see that and think, wait, am I not already filling out the quote form? So that also needed to be cleaned up. Okay, now that we know what visually needs to be corrected, let's test functionality. The main function is the quote calculator. We actually never gave Codex any parameters for the estimates, so we'll need to add that. Giving out online estimates would save huge amounts of time for a startup business. I also wanted all of the information from the quote request form to get funneled into a customer sheet. For this test, a spreadsheet would work fine. Now let's see if Codex can handle these corrections. I drafted another prompt for the 2 visual corrections and the functionality improvements. This time I included much more information and let it build. After another 11 minutes and 600 code changes, Codex said it had completed everything. So I went back to the website and checked the fixes one by one. This time, the before side actually looked dirty and the after side looked clean, which sounds obvious, but Codex somehow messed that up earlier, which goes to show you really do need to double check everything. Then I checked the quote form. The extra quote toggle was gone and the form looked way less confusing. Now there was one clear action: fill out the form and submit the quote request. But the real test was the quote calculator, so I filled it out like a customer. I picked a service, added the job size, chose the urgency, and submitted the form. The site actually gave me a price range. Not a perfect final price, but a basic estimate the customer could understand. And even better, the customer information that they put into the quote calculator got saved into a customer sheet. So at this point, the website was not just a nice looking homepage anymore. It was starting to act like a basic customer intake system. Now, would I launch this for a real business right now? No. I would still test the form more, adjust the pricing rules, and connect it to a real backend or Google Sheet. But for a second prompt, this was a pretty good start. Codex brings new light to small businesses, but there are some aspects of it that make simplicity like this look like a bad thing. Starting with the website, an app design market, Codex and other coding agents are likely to push out all small design agencies quickly. I don't think this means every web design agency disappears overnight, but I do think the simple website and basic app market is going to get hit hard. When the average price for a website design is thousands of dollars, and the average app almost doubles that, it gets harder and harder to justify paying a huge amount upfront. Especially when something like this can be built, tested, and revised this quickly. But that does not mean it is perfect. And honestly, that is the part people need to understand. AI does not replace your judgment and your understanding of the field you strive to be successful in. It replaces the time and effort spent to produce systems deemed necessary for that field. So the opportunity is not just AI builds websites now. The real opportunity is knowing how to use AI to build useful systems, because the businesses that win are not going to be the ones with the fanciest website. They are going to be the ones that can move faster, test ideas cheaper, and fix problems before their competitors even get started. Overall, Codex is one of the strongest AI tools out there right now, and even with the few flaws we discovered today, it's scary to think what it will become. With the world becoming more and more reliant on the growing power of AI, falling behind is not an option anymore. Learning AI is something everyone needs to be doing right now. If you want to stay in the loop, I have weekly videos breaking down the most groundbreaking AI uses, showing what they can actually do, not just what they claim to do. So subscribe if you're interested. And if you liked the video, drop a like and comment what AI tool or workflow I should test next.